how you're seeing like entertainment now in this like post COVID-19 world.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to continue to innovate. I think this the emergence of esports over the last couple of years is I think it's in a really interesting position to continue to accelerate. I think you're going to start to see more like solutions like yours. I mean, AR and VR has kind of been a part of the sports and entertainment world for a while. As we kind of figure out what live sports is going to look like moving forward, I think you can see a shift into, deploying more technology to really activate brands, activate sponsors and experiences. And to me, I said it earlier, sports, music, entertainment, it's all tied at the hip. I think when you see innovations in one area, it's not going to be too far off before you see it in all those other areas. So, what you're seeing in the music space right now, I think, will be adopted into the sports. And once you get brands, kind of in the mix that are powering, these experiences and these technologies, it could look, very, very differently over the next, couple of years when it comes to those types of activations.
I think now over the couple of months of theaters being shut down, live entertainment venues being shut down, we are now consuming our entertainment again, like whether it's Netflix or whatever, we're consuming our entertainment differently. For instance, we did a movie a couple of years ago. It was supposed to come out this summer. It's called 2 Minutes of Fame, and they just announced they're going to put it out on HBO, where it was originally made for theaters, but that business seems like it's going to be very slow to come back around. We now have a palette for saying, yeah, I'd like to sit in my living room with my son and sit and, in the comfort of our house and consume, information. So that's what I'm saying. There's going to be a lot of change and some reshuffling because, people are going to want to consume things probably perceived in a more safer environment, right? It's safe for me to be at home. I don't know how that's going to affect the sports world, but we do know that 60% of, our revenues in television comes from sports entertainment. Right. It's the number one revenue provider and driver in the world when it comes to television. So now, how is that going to look, right? What you guys do support what we do. Without sports, what we do doesn't exist because, you guys generate the revenue that allows us to do what we do. So it's a big issue.